That beat going crazy.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video, another episode of the VFR400 restoration, and today is an exciting day. I am going to be trying to synchronize the carbs. So I've never done this before. I know that they need syncing, pretty much sure of that. I've got a carb syncing kit which I purchased, so I'm gonna have to take off the fuel tank, probably gonna have to take off the carbs as well. Hopefully we won't need to. I did put some fairings on the bike. You guys might have seen a short where I've test fitted some fairings. They're literally just loosely on with a couple of bolts, so I might not take them off if they're not in the way. If they are, I'll take them off, but for now I'd like to just leave them there just because I've got lack of storage. But yeah, so hopefully we're going to sync these carbs. I've also got a temporary gas sort of bottle tank thing which I purchased instead of having to make the makeshift one, so I'll use that to balance the carbs as well, because obviously I'm going to be taking the fuel tank off. It'll be a lot easier for me to do that. So I'm going to quickly show you the bike, the condition it's in now, and I'm going to make a start. All right guys, so here we go. So here is the bike, and this is what it's looking like at the moment. So as you guys can see, I've got the tank on. I've put on the rear fairings. I actually put on the lights as well, which I've also installed in here. I've put on the mid fairings as well, all these side ones here, as you guys can see. They're looking good. The front as well, which is fitting really nice, you guys can see. I actually now have the rubber seals that go around here, which I've been waiting for. They've arrived, so those can go on as well. I'm waiting, this should be coming next week, for a screen and the clips that clip it on, so that should be coming as well. All right, so yeah, as I said, I'm going to take this tank off and let's start. Also, I want to show you guys, I'm still having this sort of white smoking issue. I don't think it's a head gasket or coolant thing. It just sort of recently started. I think it is to do with the carb syncing, because I did play about with them. I'm hoping that when I sync the carbs, it's going to solve the issue, but I'll quickly show you guys what I'm talking about. So we've got the bike running here. You see at the moment, that's quite good. I think it is more of a fuel issue. You see it now a bit. So guys, any thoughts on that? What do you guys think? I mean, some people say it's condensation. I don't know. I ran this up for a good while the other day, got it up to temperature, and I still found it was smoky. So I am suspecting it's not just condensation. I could be wrong. I think it's fuel, and the fuel issue of over fueling, because I think I had some over fueling with the carbs. Also, I realized as well that the petcock on the tank wasn't working properly, so it wasn't actually shutting off. So I think it was just letting in too much fuel. I sorted it out now. I took it apart, put it back together because it was new. I think I might have just pinched the diaphragm, and now it works perfectly. It only lets out the fuel under suction. And because before, when I took the gas tank off before, even though I turned it off, sometimes it leaked. So I think that was causing too much fuel to get to there. I also realized, I think one of the float balls was sticky. I replaced that, the filter, and I'm not sure what the part is, but the little needle that closes it off, and I adjusted that, and now it's closing because it was leaking when I put the car back on the last time. So I'm hoping that it's just a fueling issue. Once I balance these, we're going to get rid of smoke. But let's see. Let's start. So I'll turn the fuel off, and I can take this tank off. Right, tank looks good. I think I'm going to take these carbs off so that I can get the adapters on for the gauges. It'll just be a lot easier. Alright guys, so this is the kit that I've got. Just quickly show you. So here are the gauges. Here's the fuel hoses, or sorry, the vacuum hoses. And then there's these little adapters that basically screw into the little ports on the engine. And what we do is we screw this into the port where the vacuum is, then we put this hose on to like that, and then the other end of this will go onto the gauge, and there's also some clips as well to clamp them in place, and then we can get readings off each of the cylinders and adjust the carbs so that we get these all to line up and match with each other, and that's how we balance the carbs. All right, so taking the air box off. Now we're going to try to get these carbs off again for the 100th time. I've also got new clamps for the carbs, and new clamps and new boots that are actually on their way. I believe they come in a couple of days time. I got an email, so those have come from overseas. They're original OEM ones, clamps as well as the boots, because I still feel that these clamps are not sealing perfectly, and I feel like I've still got a very small vacuum leak on maybe one of them. I'm not sure, we'll see today. I think I might have to take these two side fairings off actually to allow me to get to these boots as well. So unfortunately I think I need to take the side fairings off. Yeah. One carburetor removed again. God, I'm tired of taking carbs out. Right, so let's see what we got. All right guys, so here we go. So what do we got? We have some screws. So there's one here, just for anybody who wants to know. This is the front left cylinder. I think that's cylinder number 2. There's a little screw here on the side which we need to remove. There should be one somewhere. I think it's actually down here on the side, which I think you can remove from the side there. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to get to these without taking the carbs off. I'm not sure about that, but how easy it is. I think this one, yeah, you might be able to get to this one from under here, which is that screw here. And then this is the tricky one. This is the one that has the the vacuum hose that goes to the fuel tank. So this one's already got an adapter on it, but we might need to take it off to put the right size on. So I pull this hose off. It should come off. And you can see these are where we'll put our little vacuum hoses onto. So I'm going to try and see if I can get these screws out and then see which adapter fits. Right, so you actually can get to this. Well, because I've got very poor lighting, I couldn't really see where it was anyway. So you can get under here. How easy these are going to be to take off is going to be another thing to see. This one's quite solid already. Let's try this one. Yep, I can get to that one from under here. Again, difficult to get to. I think I just need to make sure I get the right size screwdriver so I don't strip the heads. So I'll be in big trouble then. We've got another one here that you can access from here. So here's the screw. It's the screw in the washer. So that's that one out. Got another one. This one's a little short one. This one doesn't have much thread in it. Seems like it's a bit stripped already. Oh, that was easy enough. Got it off with the vice grip. You can see it here, didn't have a great head on it. So that is 3, and the 4th one is the old vacuum line for the fuel. I'm not sure if the hoses will fit on that. If they fit snug on it, then I can just leave that one in and use it. If they're too loose, then we need to change it. No, not snug at all. Definitely that's going to leak. So I need to now get a socket bit and see if I can get it out. Or maybe I can use this. Okay, got that out as well. Vice grip. There you go. You can see. So I just clamped that with a vice grip along here. I could have used a socket, but it's just easier to do that. Right, so in the kit you've got various lengths of these with various threads. This seems to be the one that's got the same size thread on it, but it's not the shortest one, although not the longest. Hopefully it will fit and still give us space to work. think this one will be the trickiest one. Yep, seems to fit perfectly. So I'll thread that in. Probably should have put this clamp on first. So we've got 3 more of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hoses on first for the clamps. Right, let's see if we can screw these in now, thread them in. So this one should go on from the side here. Okay, that's number 2. This one we could probably do from under here. And there's the last one. So it's got to be one, isn't it? Wow, it's crazy out here. Alright guys, so we got them all in. So we've got one here, we've got one here, we've got one out coming out the side here. We've got one underneath here, if you can hear me through the thunder. So yes, technically you can actually do all this without taking the carbs off. Now I know, definitely it's something I'll definitely try to do in the future without taking carbs off. You just probably have to take 2 side fairings off, and then you should just be able to sort of get some tools in there and do it like that. So right, let's see. Right, so here's the gauges. So we're gonna have to hook up the gauges somewhere at some point, hang them up or something. Actually I can hang them from above here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them up in the order of the cylinders of the engine. So the cylinders for this Honda are cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, cylinder 4. So we'll go 1 here, I can't remember which cylinder is the master. I think it's this cylinder, but we'll check on the carburetor. Cylinder number 2 will be this one, which I think might be the master cylinder on the carb. So one of them is what we use to set all the other ones. Let's close all these valves first. Cylinder number 3 is this one here. And cylinder number 4 will be this one. So I'm going to put these boots back on, put the carbs back on, and we're going to get some fuel hooked up to it, and I think we should be ready to go. Alright guys, quick update. So I've been struggling with these carbs. These boots just really need replacing, but I managed to get them on. I think I've got them on tight. Hopefully there's no leaks. I've got some carb spray which I'll spray around them to see if we've got any leaks. I wouldn't be surprised if I've got a little leak in it, but if I do, I may just have to wait till I get the new boots and do the sinking again, but we're gonna go with it anyway. So what I've done is I've got the carbs back on. I've got all these connected up to the gauges. You can see there, 1 2 3 4. I have a fuel line connected up, as you guys can see. It's a fuel line here, and it's running down here, and I've connected it into the fuel rail. So what I did, a little tip, this was a bit tight, I couldn't get it on. I just warmed it up with a heat gun, softened up the rubber, and I was able to fit it on nice and snug. So that's connected. So we should be able to start the bike now. Right, so we should have fuel. I'll just turn the valve open and fuel just run down here. So let's see if we can start this up. So it's going to turn the revs up a bit. Guys, so you can see when I open these valves slightly, you can see the vacuum is giving all of these a reading, and they're all miles out from each other, so as I expected. So I'm just going to show you guys again. Got to get a spanner. This is going to be a tricky bit. A small socket underneath there to adjust these. I think it's a 7mm socket. So I'm going to see if I can get something that can fit under there. Hi guys, so I am back. So this is about a week later. So a quick update on the progress. I was really struggling to try and get to the adjuster screws using the sockets set I had. It's just too big and cumbersome, really difficult to do it. So I need to get a tool in. So I've got a tool. I think it will work. I'm going to try it now and see if this will be easier. Also, I left the bike on for the last couple of days, and it seems I flattened the battery. So I've just got it on the charger to charge up the battery, and then we should hopefully be good to start the bike up. So yeah, let's go and try it out now. So one good thing about the weight is I've been able to get a couple of bits in that I've been waiting for. One of the really important bits I was waiting for, which is great that it's come now. Actually, I got this bolt here, which is the front bolt here for the front here. It goes on here. I temporarily used this bolt, but it's actually a larger bolt, and this is the actual correct one here, and this is a Honda genuine part. So I've been waiting for these parts, which take a bit longer to get in. These are actually clips for the glass screen, which also arrived. This is an aftermarket one, but you can't get these new anymore, and any second-hand ones that you might find, they're just going to be cracked up and scratched and all sorts. So I didn't really want that. So you guys can see I've got a brand new one to go on there, and those are the clips to clip it on. That's that. And also what I've been waiting for, most importantly, is these new OEM, I'm not sure what you call these, can't remember what they're called, but these are what you connect the carbs to the engine with. The ones I have are a bit bent out of shape, and also the brackets as well. I've got a whole set because mines are a bit knackered and a bit warped and stuff. So I've got eight sets of these and 4 of these. So each of them take 2. You can see one goes on the left hand side and one goes on the right hand side. So you got 2 brackets for each of these. So I'm going to take the carb off now, and I'm actually going to fit these on now, and hopefully this is the last time I'm taking the carbs off now after I put these on, and that should also ensure that we've got no vacuum leaks. Also, just a quick tip here, if you look at these, this actually says carb up. See the arrow? Carb up. So this side, it goes up this way, so don't put it down that way, make sure it goes up this way. And also there's a little gap here. This little gap has to be lining up straight ahead like this. One here, and then the ones on this side will go this way, one here and one here. All right guys, just a quick one. So I've taken the carbs off, as you can see. I've just jacked it up here so you can see underneath. So these are the adjustment screws to adjust the butterfly position of each carb. So this carb here on the left is actually the master carburetor that we sync to. So what I'll be doing is we will be syncing this one here, which is carburetor number 4. I'll be syncing it to line up with this one by using this screw here. Then also the 2 back carbs, which are 1 and 3, I'll be syncing them to, I'm not sure which one actually, I need to double check. I think it's this screw here to sync them together. Once I sync these 2 together, then I use the other screw to sync the back pair with the front pair. So it sounds a bit complicated, I know, but hopefully it'll make some sense. Now this is the tool that I will be using. See if I can show you guys. It's a right angle screwdriver, something you would use on a drill bit to get some right angle screw in. Once I turn this, as you can see I'm turning it with my hand, it will turn and adjust the screw in that little right angle position, which we're going to have to get to. Obviously we're going to get to this once the carb is on the bike. We're going to have to get it up inside here like that and then adjust it. So also these are the old boots and the old clamps that are all sort of gone out of shape. You can see this one is bent out of shape, so I'm going to take these all off. I'm going to put the new ones on here, tighten them up, then we'll get the carb, put the carb on, tighten it up, and then we should be good to go. All right guys, quick update. So I've got the carbs back in. You might be able to see the new boots that I've put in here, and the new clamps. Everything's just fitted so perfectly now. Everything's popped on and snapped on and felt good. So I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have any leaks. I've tightened them all up. I've put the choke cable back on as well, connected up the throttle cables. Let's just try that. So all of our meters are all connected up as well. Battery's been charging for a bit. I'm going to hook up the temporary fuel supply line, which I'll connect to here, and we should be ready to go. Guys, so you saw that all this stuff out of sync. So here's our cylinder number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 2 is our master, and we're going to sync number 4 to line up with number 2. Once I get these two lined up, then we'll sync number 1 to line up with number 3. And then once these two are synced up, we'll sync up this pair with this pair. Hi guys, I am back, and I'm back on another day. So yesterday was terrible trying to get to those adjuster screws. I tried everything. It's so difficult. Just there's such a lack of space. So fiddly. You get your hands burnt, all sorts of stuff. So I never want to have to do this again. Well, I'm back on the next morning. I'm trying again. I've been trying and trying. I've done my best. I think I kind of want to give up because, you know, it's just noisy as well, you know, just revving and all this stuff. So I'm going to show you what I've managed to do. I think I'm just going to end up having to leave it here. Saying that, I probably end up giving it one more try, but let me just show you where I'm at. And I'm not seeing the movement in the adjustments. I don't know if I'm getting confused or if I'm just doing it wrong. But I've sort of got two cylinders sort of pretty much identical, and another two identical, and they're slightly different, but let's have a look. All right guys, the other thing is I keep running out of fuel because I'm running it for so long, so I'm topping up this little thing of fuel, which is annoying. So I think I'm going to run out of fuel after this one, so let's try start it up again because it did die out the last time. Guys, so this is where I've got to. You can see I've got these two pretty much the same. These two. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it seems once I give it a rev and that, then they all line up. But just when it's on idle, cylinders 3 and cylinders 4 seem to be a little bit lower. But once I give it a bit more revs, then they all line up. So I'm just going to leave it there. It seems to be sounding, it sounds like it's running well. So I think I'm just going to leave it here. I need to crack on with other stuff on this bike, so I'm going to get all these tubes back off, put those blanking holes back in, and then let's get the tank on and start building this bike back. Guys, so I put everything back together, and now it's time we can put the screen on this. I've also got these surrounds that should go around these lights, these rubber surrounds. Then we can put this back on. I've got the new bolt for this, and then we're going to try and put the screen on this. these are actually labeled left and right. So this is RL. Sure which way it goes. Okay, looks like we got to use this little arrow tab and locate it at the top here. I think that's the right shape for it. There we go. So how these go on, you've got these little sort of almost like rivets, and then you've got these sort of one way. Once you push it in, they sort of grip on. So you put it in this way, you've got to try and squeeze it through and tighten it as tight as possible, and then it sort of clamps the glass on. I'm sure there's a tool that you can get to use this to do this to make it easier, but sort of doing it by hand. Just using a screwdriver and just sort of pushing it in by hand seems to work. It gets a bit trickier though when you get down here. Probably should have put this on first, but hey, now I know. I mean, I'll probably take this off actually if I struggle here. I think I might just do that. Right, I think this would be easier if I took it inside the house, get on the carpet. So I'm going to do that now, punch them all in, and then I'll come back and put it on. There we go. So the last thing I do need is there's a fairing stay. So it's basically a bracket that helps to strengthen this, because the actual wing mirrors are going to go on here, so it strengthens this area here. Very hard to get hold of, so I'm still on the lookout for one, but in the meantime we'll keep assembling. I should be able to install it without taking this out. I think it bolts from the left and the right here, and then it bolts connects to the wing mirrors here, and just gives some stability in this corner here. Otherwise it's looking good. So this is the bike now with its windscreen. Let's see what the lights look like now. yeah, so bike is looking good. Just got to get the rest of those fairings back on. So we got the brakes to do, we got the fairings to do. Before I put the brakes on, I'm going to service the master cylinder on the front brakes and the rear brakes. So I'm waiting for the master cylinders service kits to come in. Once they go on, I've got new grips already for these. I've got new bar ends, I can put those on, put the front brakes on. I've got new brake lines, rebuilt calipers, and once we get that all done, then we'll look at getting the wheels off, because I need to get new tires. So I'll probably get the tires taken off, get the wheels powder coated in white, and new tires on. All right, so we've got the tank back on. Let's see if we can start up. I think our fuel is finished, so it's probably going to cut out. Still hanging a bit. So here we go, guys. This is what the bike is looking like. First time out of the garage since I've started building it. So that is it for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Also, any advice on tuning up these carbs or tuning up this bike. Maybe I need to do another compression test and just make sure everything is good on cylinders, what is it, 3 and 4. But yeah, I checked for vacuum leaks, everything seems to be good. The new boots are sitting nice, but yeah, once I rev it, it does seem to run nice. So yeah, happy days. So anyway, guys, we shall see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Going crazy.